I love my mom and dad. If you guys are watching this, I love you. I'm not disrespecting you. I just want you to know where I stand on this side of the world. Hi everybody, I'm back. Pressures from parents. I want to say in my generation, you get all types of different vibes. I mean, from my dad, who is 8 years older than my mom, you got the strict, traditional, Chinese, very conservative. And then you got my mother, who is like French Vietnamese, and she's very like, go, try out your life, make mistakes, cry on my shoulder if you need it. No problem, mama's got you. Do what you need to do, just don't sell your body, okay? I cannot imagine what life would be like if I was completely held down to all the stereotypes that I had to fulfill. Technically, for those who do know me, I do cook, I do clean, I'm pretty responsible. But I have my one in very few times where I like to go out, come back at 5 a.m. And you know what? Sometimes it's a struggle from, like, I guess you could say my father. And sometimes it's a struggle from my mother as a woman. So, how do you break the stereotype? Rule number one, we're going to talk about siblings. I have a brother who broke stereotypes for me first. And he broke all the rules in the rule book. And it just so happened that I was younger. The only other challenge that I had was that I was a female. And I guess there were some rules that were already broken, but I had to re-break. Quote, quote. I mean, the second one is, I have done this a couple times. I have tried. It's worked sometimes, but I'm not going to say it's 100% foolproof. You sit mom and dad down, pour some tea, and you talk to them. Listen, mom, dad, I was born in 93, and I think it is time that you treat me like an adult to make my own decisions. I mean, when did I ever do something stupid? Don't you think I could think for myself? Or do you not trust me? Literally, you just lay out all the reasons why things should happen the way you think they happen. If they rebuttal, listen and say, I understand your concern. However, or I appreciate what you're trying to do for me, but please let me make my own decisions. Now, there are times where you will butt heads and none of these things work, so you just do the please, please. And after many nights of no sleep, they will probably say, do whatever the hell you want. So, immigrant parents. I don't even know how I started this video, seriously. The expectations that most parents and traditional parents would have for you is that you finish with a degree, that you don't go out late, you don't wear racy clothing, you don't hang out with too many people of the opposite sex, don't wear too much makeup, don't wear heels in the middle of 12 a.m. at night. There's just so many things that, like, parents would find wrong, and I really appreciate the fact that I have both parents to kind of balance the scales for me and kind of make me me. And sometimes you got to be brave and kind of stand up for yourselves for what you believe in. Now, I'm not saying go start World War I with your mom and dad. No, do not do that. Because at the end of the day, they are still your parents and you should still respect them. Which I do. I just believe that there are some times a culture shock, maybe, maybe a generation gap, understanding. I mean, after all, we are technically the millennials that were born in between the time that technology didn't exist or wasn't that advanced to now, where we have phones that work like computers. A lot has evolved. Tattoos these days are just regular stereotypes, for some, and others it's art. And I guess you could say, like, nobody really, like, some people see it one way, some people see it others. And, like, you know, like, when I first, okay, for example, when I first got this, the first reaction that I got was, oh, say goodbye to corporate jobs. Lol. Do you know what they said to me when I didn't graduate university? Technically, I am trying to go back. However, they said I would not be employed at reputable companies. I have been. Do you know what they said to me when I walked into interviews, or I was planning to walk into an interview and people saw my arm? They said that people would think that I was part of the triad or gang or something, and I just wouldn't get hired. If anything, it actually made me stand out sometimes from my other, like, I guess you could say, from the other interviewers, and it actually made the world's difference, because we ended up, like, some of my interviews, I ended up talking about my tattoos, or sometimes, like, I would make friends talking about my tattoo. Like, I'm not saying that it, like, go get a tattoo, you're gonna make good connections. No, I'm saying, like, the stereotypes with what was and what is now has changed, and sometimes the generation gap really needs to feed into educating the people who are respectively above you, and in general, you just gotta tell them, like, hey, this is me, I really want to try this out. I understand that you're scared I might F up my life, however, this is my decision as an adult. Yeah, just kidding. Maybe it's more so I just want to do something for myself. Maybe I want to make mistakes. It's like, oh, it is like dating that boy that everybody hates, but you still date him because you like them. But then, you know what? It's like, how do I compare this? What works for you will not work for other people. And sometimes parents forget that. And, like, I want to say I listen to my mom quite a bit. Like, maybe 80% of the time. But she has to make sense. You feel me? Like, the whole tattoo thing never really made sense to me. Because, well, for her it's just like, why you get tattoo for? Your body looks good. Like, without tattoo. Once you put on tattoo, you cannot take it off. Okay, I understand that. However, for me, my tattoos are a way to express how I am, who I am, and what I stand for. All my tattoos have meanings behind them. All my tattoos, I don't regret. If anything, I want to extend them, make them bigger. I want to cover more of my body in ink. And like, I use this as a big example because I was so afraid when I got my first one. I was 17 and I kind of snuck off and I got one. And then I got 2 more in 5 years. And then I got one big one recently, like 2 years after that. So, like, all I want to say is that be brave, be you. Don't listen to what people have to say all the time. They can give you advice, however, they can't forever tell you what to do. I just feel like it's so unfair to live through other people's experiences rather than your own. Thank you, everybody, for listening to my chat today. If you like my rant, comment, subscribe, like, share. I am here every single week.